If you're ready to begin your content creation journey, but you don't know what equipment to buy, or maybe you have a limited budget and you just want to buy the necessary things, but you don't even know what those are, well, you're in the right place. In this video, I'm going to show you my current and even past YouTube setups, just to give you options and show you everything that you need for good video and audio output. Are you ready? Let's go. For good video, the first thing you need is a very good camera. But that doesn't mean you need a DSLR or a Sony or a Canon. No, you can just use your phone. The phone that I'm using right now is the iPhone 12 Pro. And before that, I was using my iPhone XS. Before that, I was using my 7. And before that, I was using my 6S. You see where I'm going? Honestly, I think, and this is my personal opinion, but if you are looking for a budget camera, like a good camera on a slightly low budget, then I think an iPhone is the best route. Now, I'm not saying that Android phones don't have good camera, but the Android phones that have really good cameras, they are very high end. Argue in the comment section. This is my own personal opinion. If you are looking for an Android phone with a really good camera, then you are looking at something from 300k and above. But you can get an iPhone 8, I think. I'm not sure. But I think you can get an iPhone 8 for less than 300k, even in this economy. Honestly, right now, I feel like anything from an iPhone 8 upwards will be just fine, okay? But here are a few tips to make sure that your phone video quality is really top notch. First of all, do not start filming until you clean your lens. Make sure your lens are squeaky clean. Now, it doesn't matter whether you cleaned your lens 5 minutes ago or 10 minutes ago. If you are going to sit down and film, clean them again. Next, you want to make sure that you're filming with your back camera. I know, it's not easy. How do you see whether you're in frame? How do you know where you're talking to, where to look? Let me tell you something. The back camera has the best. See, even if you are using an iPhone 18 Pro Max Pro enzyme, it doesn't matter. The back camera will always be better than the front camera, I promise you. If you are struggling with using your back camera, what I do is that I have this huge top to bottom mirror just on the opposite side of the camera right now. I can see myself. I know that I'm in frame. I know that I'm in the middle. And then when I am talking to the camera, my eyes are on my camera lens so that it looks like I'm talking to you. That's one thing I don't really like about using your front facing camera, because you get so distracted by looking at yourself, and when you play the video back when you're editing, you realize that your eyes are in a complete other direction. But if you are filming with your back camera, there is more focus. I can look directly into your eyes. Yeah. My next tip for filming with your phone is make sure that your camera is set to a really high resolution. So for me, I have the option of 4K 60, but I prefer to use 4K 30 because of space. Honestly, I can't tell the difference between 4K 60 and 4K 30, so 4K 30 it is. But as far as I'm filming in 4K, now if you are using an iPhone 8 or maybe even an iPhone X, you may not have the 4K option. So for you, you can film at 1080p. Finally, you want to make sure that your phone has good space. Now is not the time to go and be buying 64 gig phone. No. You will suffer. Especially if you are using a phone where you are filming in 4K 30, 4K 60, you will only be able to film one video at a time. And if you're a good content creator, you know that batch creating is life. Now, you can't batch create if your phone is 64 gig. So please make sure you have at least, I'm telling you, at least 256 gig on your phone. Okay. So now we've talked about phones. What are we going to use to hold the phone? Because as you can see, my hands are busy holding my microphone. What's holding my phone? Well, I tell you, it's my tripod. A tripod is very handy. Like, I don't know that there is a content creator out there who doesn't have a tripod, except the beginners who are still using, like, a window and a stack of books. But it's really easy to get a tripod these days. Honestly, there are so many different types. There is the tabletop tripod, there is the foldable extendable tripod, there is the sturdy hard tripod. That's what I'm using. But there are even tripods that are stronger and sturdier than the one I'm using right now. So just, whatever goes with your budget and whatever goes with your setup, because not everybody needs a standing 7 foot tripod. Some people, the kind of content they do, a tabletop tripod will do nicely, and you can get a tabletop tripod for like 4, 5 or 5k. Get a tripod so that your videos can be stable, there is no shaking. Work with your budget or what you really need in your setup. For me, I do a lot of hair care content, and I can't be filming myself braiding my hair and I'm still using my toes to hold my phone. Yeah, no, I'm gonna need a tripod, right? So yeah, Depending on what your setup is like, the kind of content that you want to do, you can go ahead and pick a tripod that will really is most useful to you. It's actually really funny how I got this tripod. At the time I wanted to buy a tripod, the tripod that I was seeing was like 15k, and then I checked on Jumia and I saw that you can get a 10-inch ring light for less than 10k. So I decided to buy the 10-inch ring light. I unscrewed the ring light and then I put a phone holder that I had lying around on the tripod that came with the ring light, and bam, I had a tripod. See, in this content creation thing, it's not only in your content that you need to be creative, you need to be creative everywhere, in every aspect. Okay, talking about ring lights and stuff, let's get into lighting. The thing is, you can have the very best phone, the very best camera, but if your lighting sucks, your video is going to look like this. And we don't want our videos to look like this, do we? When they can look like this. That's what I thought. Lighting is really tricky for content creators because there are just so many different types of lights you can get. Ring lights, LED lights, there are the ones with two heads, there's key lights, fill lights, backlights, ambience lights, fairy lights, all the lights, okay? But if you're on a budget, the LED 600 light is more than okay for you to get started, trust me. Now, I have a little backlight on here. I'm going to go ahead and put that off, right? So just the LED 600, this is what it's looking like. Everything else is off. It's just my LED 600 lights and me and my phone and my tripod, and this is how the video is looking. So I mean, if you don't have the money to get like a complete big round the head setup, there are some people's lighting setup, you will see they have the LED lights, they have that umbrella light, I've forgotten what it is called, then they have one bulb light over here, and then they have another light over there, and then they have one light down here, and they have two lights at the back. It's nice, but it's not really necessary. If you can get yourself one really good LED 600 light, I promise you, you can make really, really good videos. You can make it work, I promise you. I mean, that's what I'm doing right now. Don't you think this video looks nice? It does, doesn't it? Right. Now, the fourth and final video tip, people don't like to talk about this, people don't like to share this, but I'm going to tell you, okay? The fourth tip is CapCut. Yeah, without CapCut, with my iPhone 12 Pro and my LED 600 and my, let me turn on my backlight, okay? Let me turn on my backlight real quick. Now, with all of these lights, my video without CapCut would look like this. But with CapCut, it looks like this. You can't just have perfect video from the onset, okay? I mean, I'm guessing there are a lot of people who would, just post what they've filmed straight up from the camera. But, if you are looking for that clean, that clear, that crisp, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to do a little bit of extra work in the background after filming. On CapCut, I like to play around with the adjust setting, and I also play around with the HSL. Now, I don't want to sit here and tell you, okay, move your brightness to 12, move your contrast to 6, and give you a formula, because even for me, different videos need different settings. I just play around with it until I like what I'm seeing on my screen. So my advice to you would be, when you're done filming and you are editing, don't just do cut and join and put some transitions and export, okay? There are ways to make your videos crispier and clearer in post, okay? So make sure you explore all of those options. If you are afraid that I have paid for CapCut and I'm not coming to tell you so that you can pay for CapCut too, absolutely not. All of these things that I do are free. You can upgrade your video quality for free on CapCut. But if you don't use CapCut, if you use InShot, all of them have their versions of this adjust setting. So make sure you go in post and just brighten and sharpen your video just a little bit, to just give it that extra zhuzh. So those are the 4 things that you really need for your videos. Now let's move to audio. And for audio, honestly, it's not even complicated. All you need is just a really good mic. As you can hear, this is what my audio is sounding like with my mic, and this is what my audio would sound like without my mic. Now, it's not that bad because the kids from my neighbors are not really outside and playing yet. Usually they scream, they're outside, they're playing, they're just making noise. But for right now, at least right now, it's kind of quiet. The only thing you might be hearing is maybe my fan humming in the background over there. But yeah, this is what it sounds like without microphone, which is not bad. But if you are looking for the best quality audio output, getting a nice mic will take your content to a whole other level. I got this mic on AliExpress for a few dollars, I think like $6 or so. I think it was $6 because I bought 2, like two mics, one connector. Just in case I wanted to collaborate with someone. But if you buy the single mic, single connector, then I think it would be a bit cheaper, maybe like $5 or four, depending. So you can just go on AliExpress, look for a nice mic and get. But if you want to get your mic in Nigeria, you can check places like Simbi Props. There are different places that you can check, and you will see the mic typically for about 12 to 15K, depending. As especially if it's this type of mic. Now there are some other fancier mics that are way more expensive. Go with your gut, go with your budget, go with God, okay? Whatever suits your what you need to do. I really like this mic because it is not complicated. There are no wires, there are no fancy connections. It's literally just plug and play. I turn my mic on here and then I attach the connector to my phone and sound, good sound. That's it and that's all. But there are a few tips if you are going to be using a mic like this, because girl, I have shed tears on top of this mic. Tip number one, make sure you turn the mic on. Now I know it sounds like duh, but I promise you there have been days that I filmed whole videos and this mic was not on and I cried myself to sleep. Okay, so make sure you turn the mic on. Make sure you see that green light. Okay, make sure you see it. It's bright, it's shining, it's not blinking, it's just green. Make sure your mic is on. The second tip is make sure your mic is charged. God. Make sure your mic is charged, because I can't count the number of times this has happened to me where I didn't fully charge my mic and I was filming like a really long talking head video. And I'm talking like a 20-minute talking head video, and sometime around the like 12th minute, sound cut off. Pain, torture, and misery. I cried. So make sure your mic is on and make sure it is fully charged and properly connected. Another thing that I like to do is, again, in post when I'm editing in CapCut, I like to go and make sure that I reduce noise in all my clips. Now my mic is already doing a pretty good job reducing the noise, but a little extra crispiness to the audio never really hurt anybody. And the reduce noise feature on CapCut is still free, I hope. If you have the paid CapCut, you can isolate voice, you can one other setting that was there that I can't really remember because I haven't really gotten a chance to use it because CapCut has gone and made itself paid, but at least you can reduce noise. So that's actually it. That's the whole list. You just need a really good phone, you need a tripod stand, you need good lighting, and you also need a good mic. And last but not the least, of course, you need CapCut, or a very good editing software that will allow you to add extra clearness and crispiness to your video and your audio in post. Some extra things that you're going to need to tie up your entire setup is, of course, you need an extension box, because if you're going to plug your lights, I have a fan that is plugged in here, I have like just so many things going on down there, so you might need an extension box. And of course, you're going to need a mirror, because without this mirror, I don't even know who I'm talking to. I need to be able to see that I'm in frame, I'm in the middle, and establish eye contact. Another thing that you might need is a remote Bluetooth remote shutter thingy. That little thing. I think I have one. Just hold on a second. So here's the one that I have. I use it anytime I want to take pictures, whether it's thumbnail pictures or Instagram pictures. What I normally do is I just put it like on the ground and I'll be using my toe to like press the shutter while I pose. It's crazy, but it works, okay? I can also use it to start and end my videos with just a click of the button. If you're a vlogger, you would benefit from this as well, because sometimes you need to set your camera up like really far away while you go do something else on the other side of the house. I mean, you could always just, turn on the recording and then run to do what you're doing. But, I think it's more demure if you could just turn on the shutter and then go to where you want to go and then click to start recording, right? I think it's more demure. So that is everything that I use to film, and those I think are the essentials for any content creator who is just coming on the scene, who has a low budget, or just wants to start off with a little equipment and then build from there. So if you fall in any of those categories, I hope this video was helpful for you. Make sure you share it with someone who might need to see this. Now, if you're a YouTuber on your monetization journey and it is taking you forever, because it took me 3.5 years to get monetized, I can totally understand the feeling. Looking back, I've realized some of the mistakes that I made that allowed my monetization to be so delayed, and in this video I outlined all of those mistakes and what I would have done differently. I strongly advise that you watch the video in case you're making any of these mistakes, so that you can correct yourself and get that money, okay? Get those dollars. So I'll see you in this video. Bye.